Their cameras roll, the tears are fake. A tragedy's just a chance to take. I hear the whispers, the stage concern, but justice isn't something you can burn. I stand in the storm, the noise all around, while their empathy's lost, profits abound. I won't sell my soul for a view, won't trade my morals for something untrue. They play the game, I walk alone. Clickbait, shadows can't claim my throne.
They sit with a mic in a neon glow, telling tales of where dark secrets go. They twist the truth like taffy in hand, turning real pain into clickbait demand. Crime scene clowns, making it up, spinning their webs in a paper cup. Are they actors or are they crooks, hiding their tracks with suspicious looks? Whoa! One's got a smile that's way too wide, another's got skeletons they can't hide. Missing kids on a thumbnail spree, but they're just here for the ad money. Hey y'all, smash that like they say, while justice keeps slipping away. Crime scene clowns, making it up, spinning their webs in a paper cup. Are they actors or are they crooks, hiding their tracks with suspicious looks? Momming it up, she's calling it out, truth in her words, no shadow of doubt, while they rehearse their scripted screams. She's digging deep into real themes. Crime scene clowns, making it up, spinning their webs in a paper cup. Are they actors or are they crooks, hiding their tracks with suspicious looks? Crime scene clowns, making it up, spinning their webs in a paper cup. Are they actors or are they crooks, hiding their tracks with suspicious looks? Momming it up, she's calling it out, truth in her words, no shadow of doubt. While they rehearse their scripted screams, she's digging deep into real themes.
Lights flashing in the shadows glow. Truth buried under plastic show. Kids are lost, but the ratings grow. Scripts in hand, hearts on ice, selling pain with a sugar slice. How low can you go? How low can you go? Turning tears into a twisted show. I won't play, I won't stoop low, so I stand alone. Yeah, I stand alone. Yeah, I stand alone. Playing games with the raw and real, spinning lies like a Ferris wheel. Morals bent like a dollar bill. Fake the pain, sell the thrill, but I see through the bitter pill. How low can you go? How low can you go? Turning lives into a freak show glow. I won't break, I won't follow, so I stand alone. Yeah, I stand alone. Yeah, I stand alone. Yeah, I stand alone.
Hello everyone, how are you? I hope everything is working properly. We have a lot to talk about. Welcoming you. Right, welcome. So I am streaming to 3 different places tonight, and I am trying out some new overlays and some new backgrounds and things. So bear with me if the graphics and sound are not great. Just let me know down in the chat if you can, if there's anything that I need to adjust. But I thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel. So let me just switch over here and get into the first thing that we're going to go over. Okay. So I'll do a little housekeeping first and get things out of the way before we get on into this big discussion that I want to have about Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. And if you could be so kind to just check that you hit the like button or even the dislike button, any engagement is good. It's better than no engagement. And if you have any questions, you can email me at 411ccn@gmail.com. The channel is now fully monetized, so we appreciate each and every one of your donations, your memberships, and other ways of helping to see if I can put more full-time effort into building this channel and podcast is in the description. Again, I thank you all for being here. Please be sure to keep in mind that everything that we discuss is my opinion, and whatever is in chat is the opinion of everybody in chat. But can we keep it a little bit kind and be adults because sometimes I know it's very hard when we're talking about sensitive topics. That being said, I'm going to say that I don't really do trigger warnings, because if I'm talking about something that's already sensitive in a true crime case, I always figured that it was already a known thing. But I will give a trigger warning because we will be talking about a lot of different scenarios and theories and speculations that have been going around this young man's disappearance. All right, so here we go. I'll give you a quick update on who Sebastian Rogers is. And oh, my audio is not playing. All right. Well, we don't need the background audio. So Sebastian Rogers, he's a 15-year-old autistic teen. I know many of you already know about him, but on my other channel, you might never have heard of this missing teenage boy, since I haven't had any content regarding true crime. And I wanted to just, stream in both places because I think it's important to raise awareness about Sebastian Rogers. He'll be 17 on the 7th of December, so very soon. He has now been missing 623 days. He went missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 26th of 2024. There's been tons of theories that have been sparked. There's been a lot of what they call chroma chaos in another genre, which is like a branch off of true crime, and it's called chroma. People have said that there could be an abduction, there could be a staged runaway, family foul play. Those are the main ones that seem to dominate. But there's another theory about, could he have taken his own life and had a parental cover-up? That's been floating around the entire case, but it's kind of the unpopular fringe idea, mostly tied to whispers of the past abuse and the trauma and the bullying. We heard a lot about bullying in his case. It hasn't really had any mainstream, traction or anything. And all of the different theories have been heavily debated and often shut down online. So there's like teams, and some people think that you shouldn't have any speculations or any discussions, no matter how wild some of the parental interviews may be or anything. And then others, will even enhance things. And it's a very interesting case that Sebastian's case discussion has kind of turned into. So let's unpack a little bit of what's out there and hopefully, raise a little more awareness for Sebastian. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just learned how to do that. Have you heard of Sebastian before? Well, he also was, he had autism diagnosis. That was a recent diagnosis, but he also had 6q27 chromosomal deletion syndrome. Yeah, so it was said that, he came home from eating out at a restaurant at Texas Roadhouse, and he had said goodnight to his mom and his puppies before going to bed around 9 p.m., according to his mother, Katie Proudfoot. And they had spent the day bowling, shopping, and going out to eat at the Texas Roadhouse, which is the footage that you were referencing. There was no ring footage at all that shows him leaving the home. The no shoes is something that law enforcement has never confirmed. They said that that's what the mother had believed. So there is no confirmation that he left without shoes, because they don't even have anything showing him leaving the house at all, right? Now, they do have him arriving home. However, what we've been told is that it's audio and not video, which has led to a lot of the speculations that how do you know he really arrived home? But it is, quite active and ongoing in a lot of ways because of the true crime communities, because of journalists, because of different personalities. A documentary was made, a couple of them from the Laura Lodge. He was featured on a new America's Most Wanted Missing Persons in June of this year. And the FBI has given updates, and they also have a $50,000 reward. So everything is really heading in the direction that Sebastian, is going to be found, or there's going to be an arrest or a conviction of those responsible, because we know people don't just disappear, right? It's, But no one's been named a suspect officially or fully cleared officially. So that means including the parental figures, the biological father, Seth Rogers, the mother, Katie Proudfoot, and the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. So before we get into some of these different things where we have the theories that have been going on with the parents, we'll discuss why each parent has been associated to different theories and speculations in his disappearance. I want to go into a little bit about the latest update that the FBI had done. I'll show you that. All right, I got it pulled up. There we go. Just take a little sip of water. I'm going to put the background music on. If it's too loud, please let me know. Oh, yes, I do. I have that up. All right, if it's too loud, just let me know and I will turn it down and I can adjust it. Oh, sure. If you want to, you could just email me at 411ccn@gmail.com and we can discuss it. So this is the FBI's latest update, and they call it like, it's kind of like a story that they started having on their website. And they shared this on their Twitter, well, their X account. Now it's, formerly, I can't talk this late in the day, guys, Twitter, but now it's called X. And they had tweeted about it. And today, when I went back to review it, I noticed that it still had Sebastian as a 14-year-old. And that's kind of interesting, to say the least, because we do know that he was 15 when he disappeared. But I think it's fantastic that there are, updates like this. I think it's very positive. Oh, I just dropped my engagement ring, And it just keeps us all talking about him. And I don't think that any of us are going to let up until there's answers. I just don't see that happening. There is something very special about Sebastian, but there's also the fact that kids just don't go missing. And you'll learn as you follow me or you look into Sebastian Rogers' case, why so many of us feel that way. So I'm just so grateful that you guys are hanging out over here, because I know that I haven't done any true crime and I haven't done anything on the channel in quite some time. The channel that I was using to discuss Sebastian is Momming It Up, and I put that information in the description. That's the channel that I have monetized and where you can support me. So I really appreciate you asking. That's really kind of you. But let's just get into this, and then I can take questions in between. I think that's what I'll do. I'll take questions like every maybe 15 minutes or so, just so we can kind of get through. I'll share the link for you if you would like it. And so it says on February 26, 2024, Katie Proudfoot went to wake up her 14-year-old son for school. To her surprise, he was nowhere to be found. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers has spent the previous day with his mother. The pair shopped at a department store, played video games at a bowling alley, and had dinner at a local restaurant before heading home that evening. After returning to their home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Katie and Sebastian prepared for bed, saying goodnight sometime between 9 and 10 p.m. Katie told us a little bit before 10 p.m. she heard a loud bang coming from Sebastian's room, so she yelled out to ask if he was okay, to which he responded that he was. That is according to Brandon Carter, who is the detective for the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. She told him to go to bed because they had to be up early for school the next morning. Katie called her husband, who was out of town in Southwest Tennessee for work, and the two of them spoke for nearly 2 hours before she went to sleep around midnight. The next morning was the beginning of what would become a massive search effort for Sebastian. Katie called her husband and told him that she couldn't find Sebastian and that he wasn't in his room or anywhere in the house, said Carter. Katie got into her car and drove around the neighborhood and to Sebastian's school, which was less than a mile away from their house, searching for Sebastian before returning home. During this time, her husband called the local emergency communication center to report Sebastian missing. I want to highlight that for everybody, okay? So it says during this time, her husband called the local emergency communication center to report Sebastian missing. Her husband, who was not there, right? They're saying he was far away. In the early days of the search, it seems Sebastian vanished without a trace. This case was kind of a question mark, said FBI Nashville Special Agent Robert Barrett. Mom wakes up and he is just gone. There's a question mark, and we've got to figure out what happens. That question mark only grew bigger as the search went on. Sebastian did not take any clothes, shoes, money, food, or even his cell phone, said Carter. His cell phone and cash were both lying on the dining room table where they had been the day before when he went to bed. According to Katie, there was a small yellow flashlight that she thinks was missing, but that was the only thing that appeared to be gone from the house. Isn't that interesting that the mom somehow knew that there's a small little yellow flashlight that seemed to have been gone from the house? The first week in the search for Sebastian was a massive community and interagency effort between the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Emergency Management Agency, Hendersonville Police, Gallatin Police, Tennessee Highway Patrol, the FBI, Metro Police, Wilson County Sheriff's Office, Sumner County EMS, Sumner County Emergency Response Team, and several other agencies throughout Tennessee. The search consisted of about 4.5-mile radius around Sebastian's home, said Carter. There were roughly 2,000 searchers equipped with an app tracking their movements. The searchers could also use the app to plot things on a map that they observed while they were out searching. The total area they covered within that 4.5-mile radius was the equivalent to a combined 44,000 acres. In addition to ground searchers, law enforcement employed every available resource at their disposal to help locate Sebastian. Fire departments, mounted patrols, ATVs, search and rescue canines, drones, helicopters, and even an airplane. During day 2 of the search, the Sumner County Sheriff's Department reached out to the FBI for assistance and specific resources that could potentially help find Sebastian, who has high functioning autism. I contacted our FBI child abduction rapid deployment team for initial consults, and then they brought in the FBI behavioral analysis unit to assist, said Barrett. The BAU shared a statistic that about 50% of autistic children are prone to wander. They are also naturally drawn to bodies of water, and 71% of fatal outcomes involving missing autistic children were a result of drowning. That information helped us focus search efforts in and around bodies of water. So that information about Sebastian having autism helped the investigators to know to search more around bodies of water, right? So that's interesting. The search team drained ponds and searched waterways and lakes looking for Sebastian. In addition, law enforcement searched almost every home in the neighborhood. Almost every home in the neighborhood. So they didn't search every home, but they almost searched all of them. Video recordings from nearby homes and a dashboard camera. So it says video recordings from nearby homes and a dashboard camera in Katie's car showed that Katie and Sebastian didn't leave the house after their return home from dinner, and that no other cars were seen coming or going from Katie's home during the evening or early morning hours of the night or day Sebastian disappeared. We have followed through on every tip that has come in, said Josh Savley, special agent in the charge of the Criminal Investigation Division at the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Some of those tips we continue to examine at a deeper level, but the vast majority we have cleared as being irrelevant or ended with no results. The lack of answers in the search for Sebastian has pushed the community to widely share the story on online platforms, but law enforcement reminds the public to be wary of misinformation from, unverified sources. Sebastian's disappearance has deeply affected our community, said Carter. We understand the desire for the community to want answers and for us to explain every step of this investigation, but we can't release all the case details without risking the integrity of the investigation. We ask that the community refocus on what matters most, and that's finding Sebastian. Staying united and supportive will bring us closer to the answers that we're looking for. It says promptly sharing tips and information with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, or the FBI is the best way to help find Sebastian. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND or tips2tbi@tbi.tn.gov. You may also contact your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. Continue to share Sebastian's official missing person flyers and don't wait, said Sheriff Craddock. If you see something, say something immediately. If you call right in, we can get someone on the trail. It says if you call right in, then we can get someone on the hot trail. Sebastian was 5'5" and around 110 to 115 pounds when he was last seen. He has brown hair and eyes that look hazel or brown. He would now be 16 years old, almost 17, guys. I'm going to add that in. Sebastian has medical conditions, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to Sebastian's whereabouts. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, TBI, and the FBI are still working collaboratively, sharing tips and information, and urging the public to work with law enforcement in the hopes of bringing Sebastian home. Let me take a drink, guys. So I think it's interesting what we're hearing, and I find it very interesting that they talk about the autism when that was more of a recent diagnosis, and the chromosomal deletion syndrome that he had mimics Well, some of the attributes of that condition are the same attributes that go with some of the autism spectrum disorder. So, for example, if Sebastian had sensory processing disorder or something like that, it wouldn't necessarily mean that he had all the attributes of what people think with autism, right? And what we knew from his parents were he wasn't an eloper, he wasn't a runner, he was absolutely verbal, he could talk, he could communicate, he played chess, and he, used a cell phone, and he had money. And so it's just interesting that the autism was highlighted, even though that was a recent diagnosis, and the chromosomal deletion that he had, since it's very rare, and it has a lot of characteristics that are also found in autism spectrum disorder and in different disorders. And from what we had learned from his father, Seth, he was in different therapies and different programs from being a very young child as his mother was serving our country. And the mom, Katie Proudfoot, also told us about how he was getting certain therapies like ABA and things like that in the home. So I think it's interesting that allegedly from what I was told, the diagnosis of autism was recently done in the fall before he went missing. And yet that seems to be what was leading the investigation, right? It turns out that they put a lot of effort and time into ponds and bodies of water in the assumption that because of the autism, statistics show it's a terrifying reality that a lot of our children that have, profound autism and certain, parts of the autistic community are more prone to wandering, eloping, and going in the water. And it's a, devastating, devastating thing. And that's actually how come I was following Sebastian's case, because when he was coming across the airwaves, when his mother and stepfather went on Fox and Friends and things like that, that's what your mind was thinking, was that, oh my gosh, it's another child with autism. Because I have a child with profound autism that, takes off and has no fear, no situational safety awareness. And so a lot of us can relate to that, right? So that I found was interesting when it comes to actually investigating his disappearance. It looks like that's what they started to focus on because of the autism. I wish that they would just give the FBI the lead on this case. And I think as we go into this tonight, you're going to understand why it's so complicated, because there's so much involvement by the parents with all different types of creators and YouTubers and lots of drama and trauma content. And you would think that it would just make a lot more sense to just have the FBI have the lead, let them take the lead. You have so much that plays out online on the record, right? How do you have the ability to go through it all and to navigate it all? But at the same time, it's not even 2 years. And sometimes cases take a long time. And that may be, collaborating and having the assistance of the other agencies, including the FBI. They may actually be well on their way to having Sebastian, brought home and justice served, So I can see different angles of it. So here we go about some of the rumors, right? Let's get into this here. It says case rumors versus reality. 2 rumors in the search for Sebastian have actually been disproven. Now, remind you, I'm reading this from the FBI website under their stories. Unfortunately, it does still say Sebastian was 14 years old. I don't know why that wasn't changed yet, but I really haven't heard many people besides some of us really make a big deal about that. I heard the stepdad and stuff on a couple panels, and I don't think he even mentioned it. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know why it's still like that. But I do believe that they are not going to report things to us intentionally in a manner of which that's not truthful, right? So when they're saying that they're clearing up some rumors versus reality, I'm going to believe it. And we're going to read it right now. So it says the flashlight theory. A house down the street from Sebastian had security video footage from the night of his disappearance. The camera, angled in a direction that happened to be facing Sebastian's backyard, captured two small moving lights. At first glance, the lights appeared to be right in front of Sebastian's yard, suggesting someone was lurking with two flashlights in hand, a potential suspect given Sebastian's disappearance that same night. However, when law enforcement further investigated that video, they disproved this theory. The dark sky and camera angle combined had distorted the security footage. When they examined the video in relation to the typography of the area, they found that the lights were actually coming from a pair of truck headlights flickering through the trees from a street atop a hill about 300 yards. Law enforcement further investigated to confirm that the flashlights were actually headlights. They also created an overlay of the security footage in daylight with a topographic map. In the daylight, it would have been clear that the lights were coming from the hill. So that's interesting because we have other bits and pieces of this quote-unquote surveillance video that was put out through the private investigator that was obtained through the stepdad and the mom, Chris and Katie Proudfoot. And then there was some that was dropped in Facebook groups, and allegedly they're from that night and they were from neighbors. But the one that Nick Barris showed is the one that I believe law enforcement has been speaking about. And there is a lot of stuff that makes it seem like the other clips that are circulating, and this is my 2 cents, guys. This isn't, well, if you can't see the screen, this isn't what's in this update here, is that it could be a reenactment. So when you had people going out trying to reenact Sebastian's disappearance, trying to see if they could, see in the dark, would anything show up, trying to figure it out, whether it was, YouTubers or creators or, whatever, or possibly when the law enforcement did their reenactment. That might be what's been put out, right? People might have just been dropping bits and pieces. You never know. You never know, right? You never know. We've seen it in other cases where people, run with certain things just because it's going to provide clicks and views, or who knows, right? Hopefully it's not to intentionally obstruct and confuse and derail an active investigation. I'm sure, So the person in the green hoodie theory, this is another theory. It's a video that surfaced of Sebastian and Katie in the parking lot of the local restaurant they visited the night Sebastian disappeared. So that was the Texas Roadhouse, everyone. Now, they don't include what the name of the restaurant is, but from what we've been told and from the video that we have seen that was released by Dog the Bounty Hunter and Steve Fisher, it was Texas Roadhouse. But according to the FBI story update, right, they're not naming this specific restaurant. But in the video, it is Texas Roadhouse. So I'm just, process of elimination. I'm just saying, I obviously think it's Texas Roadhouse because you see a person in the green hoodie in the footage, and that's what sparked all these rumors that there might have been a plan that had transpired to have Sebastian, taken away to one of those wilderness style places or something, right? Because there was this interesting interaction with this person in a green hoodie, and some of the way that it looks when you look at the footage of Sebastian and his mom while eating dinner, it looks like he was very sad, like she was scolding him almost. So there's been so much speculation about that. And I find it interesting that they're saying that the person in the green hoodie is not a suspect. So here, I'll read it verbatim. A video surfaced of Sebastian and Katie in the parking lot of the local restaurant they visited the night Sebastian disappeared. In the video, a person in a green hoodie briefly interacts with Katie. Suspicions arose that in this short interaction, the person in the green hoodie was planning something with Katie related to Sebastian's disappearance. Law enforcement spoke with the employees at the restaurant, who confirmed this person in the green hoodie was actually a frequent customer and helped identify them. Law enforcement went to meet this person, who happened to be wearing the same green hoodie in the video. Wow, they were wearing the same green hoodie they were wearing in the video. Can you believe that? And confirmed that they were not a suspect. Huh. Isn't that a coinky dink? Interesting. So anyway, this is the update. It's a very interesting update. And here's that surveillance with a still photo that shows the light source in question. You can see a little red circle around it. I don't know if you guys can see. That's the surveillance that they're talking about. Now let's see if, click on his missing poster. So this is the missing poster. I'm going to save it again because I have to reload it to my screen. I had it already saved in my StreamYards. Okay. So they added a variety of photographs of Sebastian, because in the beginning, one of the biggest things was the photos made him look much younger, you know? And then when you saw him in the Texas Roadhouse footage, you could see that he was much taller and, you know, but he appeared a lot younger in the original photos. So the latest feature news item that's under the flyers is from September 4th of 2025. It says the FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who was last seen on February 25th, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. So that's a very large reward. So it says, searching for Stephanie Dameron. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $15,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Stephanie Dameron, who was last seen on September 23rd, 2024 in New Sweden, Maine. His date of birth is December 7, 2008. Blonde or brown hair, brown or hazel eyes, 5'5", 120 pounds, male and white. Okay, well, this is kind of strange. I'm not sure why that's, okay. Yeah, I will share the link with you and you can go review it. And I'm not quite sure how there's somebody else from a different state. very interesting. Let's look at it over here. Let's see if we can look at it together. In a bigger, one moment, in a bigger image. Oh boy, okay. I don't understand that. What do you guys think about that? Do you see it? What is your take on this? Isn't that interesting that they have something else on the FDA? We're going to talk about this more tomorrow because I'm going to look into this a little more because I didn't know that. I thought it was a glitch when I saw it the first time. Now I'm kind of confused, which doesn't take much in Sebastian's case at all, right? It does not take as much to get confused with his case at all. And we've heard all different kinds of speculations and rumors and all kinds of things. And could it possibly be, who knows, could possibly be the same person? I'm not sure. I don't know what this is implying. I'm not quite sure. But I do know that the FBI is the FBI in America. And in our country, we have some pretty smart agencies and law enforcement and technology. So I find it interesting that they're making mistakes. I don't know. I'm not going to put my opinion into this yet because I'm very confused. Maybe it's AI. I don't see it anywhere else like that, but you never know. You never know, right? So let's get into listening a little bit to some of this shocking audio that has come out. We're going to listen to this. It'll take about 10 minutes. And then we're going to go into why all three parents are still speculated on by so many different people. Okay. We're going to go through the different speculations with each parent. Yes, I put the link in the description for you if you want to go check it out. And feel free to email me what you think about it or let me know in the comments. You're welcome. Okay, so this was something that was put out by At Night, but it's the information that's in this recording that's been out for quite a while that is really interesting. It's the arguing and the dramatics of this.
Facebook things. It was never out there until
I guess we can listen to this one little part at first where you hear a couple creators' opinions.
10,000 fugitives in the last 44 years. Why would they come after the number one bounty hunter in the world?
Still missing Sebastian. That's just the truth, guys. Listen, I'm going to shoot it straight with you every time. You know, it is what it is. Do I believe that Chris and Katie have some responsibility in the disappearance of Sebastian? In my opinion, yes, I do. I believe Katie has done something and Chris has helped cover it up. That's just my opinion. That don't mean you got to agree with it. You ain't got to disagree with it. You may have your own opinion. You may still believe that the lights are real and there's somebody out there with a green hoodie lurking the shadows of night snatching babies. Not
plays us for a fool or tries to lie to us, because when we know we are right, we are going to prove we are right. Clearly, this is something they're trying to hide, right? They don't want us to know about this. That's why they keep lying about this. But every time they try to call us liars, we're going to prove we're not liars and they're the ones lying. But to keep lying and tell us it was a dump truck, and then now all of a sudden it's a reflections off a headlight. You are full of crap. We know you're lying to us, and it just further puts distrust in our hearts. So now we're not going to take anything you say as true.
So this is all credited to them to At Night, and I'll put the link again in the description. And they've given some amazing audio that we're so grateful for, many of us, to be able to go over as we try to keep raising awareness and try to find where is Sebastian.
All these fucking Facebook things.
So this is the
It was
stepdad.
never out there until that bitch opened her fucking mouth. Telling you.
So this is the stepdad talking to the private investigator, Heather Cohen, about another private investigator, Chloe, and they had been assisting in trying to help find Sebastian Rogers. And this is the stepdad when he learned that some of Sebastian's mom's family, her biological family's history was put out. So some of the criminal history, there was, SA type of stuff, RSO type of stuff. So there was all this different stuff around the family. And I guess he and her were concerned that the PI was going to go out, and because of her statement on an interview, everybody was going to know. But in reality, that web sleuths dig into everything and anything. It's just, unfortunately, sometimes it's great, right? And sometimes it's not. But when you have a kid that you're saying just went poof in the night, I don't know how you get mad at anybody digging into anything, because you don't know where Sebastian is. And I mean, are you wanting to find him, or are you wanting to be a producer and a PR guy? I'm kind of confused with Chris Proudfoot or Katie. I mean, because Katie, she just needs the mom to just ghost everybody. You know, it's like they just ghosted everyone. They took off and they went in their camper and they left, and they just kind of ghosted talking about Sebastian. I mean, Katie hasn't talked to anyone, really, since these recordings are all we kind of have, because she only made some appearances and then it's been silent besides a couple little blips on the TV screen. But yeah, it's crazy, because it's like somebody that ghosts you from, a date or something. This woman just totally ghosted everybody, and yet she says she's looking for her child and grieving, according to the stepdad. So it's really weird, and that's why there's so much speculation for a lot of reasons.
I am being very polite as I can possibly be to her.
Mm-hmm.
If she don't find a fucking way to fix it, I promise her I am not going to be so goddamn pleasant when I see her.
Okay.
And I will bring the fucking cops with me.
All right. Well, I'll talk
And
to her. I mean,
there's a difference in helping find Sebastian
and just being a stupid fucking cunt.
Digging.
Web slut.
Yeah.
Or sleuth, whatever the fuck that woman's name is.
Web sleuths.
Yeah, whatever. It was on that fucking show.
I can't see Chloe just giving out that information though.
She did, you're missing my statement. I
Okay.
didn't say she gave the information out. I said she made a statement that she had it and wouldn't fucking release it. That right there was a trigger to start this fucking shitstorm when she shouldn't have opened her fucking mouth in the beginning.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of fucking PI or whatever the fuck she thinks she is or how she does this, but if she needs a fucking education and schooling on being a PI, I guarantee you I'll find somebody who is truly a PI and let them school the fuck out of this woman. She started a shitstorm.
Actually,
She better figure out how to fucking fix it. Personally, I think everybody fucking starts looking for shit.
yeah.
Ain't even worth the fucking bacteria of the foam that forms on the fucking worst form of bacteria on Earth. That's what I truly feel.
Yeah, I feel you. I hear you. I can feel it through the phone.
Trust me, Chloe's lucky I'm not standing in fucking front of her. Like I said, I will bring the fucking cops when I see her.
So he's pretty angry, right? Very volatile, very mad. I don't know how, if you're missing your child, would you speak to people that are trying to look for him in such a derogatory way? Not like a gentleman. It's not very, it's not very good. I mean, he was a veteran, and
Okay.
it's just shocking that he would speak this way to women, but he is on his 5th marriage. So that's interesting.
Okay. Well,
And it was more my protection than hers. Because right now, you can inform her. She fucking calls me, says my fucking name, anything of that fucking nature involving Katie or me or anybody else, I'm going to slap the shit out of her with the same fucking thing I told you. I'll cease and desist letter and then let her open her fucking mouth one more time. And then I've got her dead to fucking rights.
I think that's
I'm
the
trying
only.
to be as civil as possible.
Is-
Not my PI. She's not.
Yeah.
Bitch don't fucking mean a goddamn thing to me.
Oh my
Right.
If she was on fire, I wouldn't piss on her to put her out. She ain't fucking careful. She's fucking sloppy. But if she ain't got the fucking audacity to give me a working fucking phone,
It seems so unbelievable, right? It seems like it's rage bait content almost. But yet there's a real missing child that hundreds of thousands of dollars of resources, millions of man hours. I mean, imagine all the effort that's been put into this child. And obviously he's a real person that's missing. So it's hard, right? It's like a cognitive dissonance when you listen to all this, because it seems so out of the realm of possibilities that people would act like this, right? It doesn't make sense to threaten, intimidate, and freak out.
number, she better
My
not fucking
God.
reach out to me. And that Google shit ain't a fucking true number.
Yeah, that's the same number that Seth has, though. I will tell you that.
I'm not Seth.
Yeah.
I have the balls and the fucking spine to call people out on shit. I'm not a fucking,
just-
maybe her head's so fucking twisted because she's too emotionally involved. Or I don't fucking know,
No,
but
yeah.
whatever the fuck it is, she better goddamn fucking figure it out and redial herself the fuck back in.
Okay.
Fuck is this bitch on
Oh my
fucking
Lord.
on these goddamn interviews? She started a fucking fire shitstorm.
And I thought he was very Christian, and they went to church and things like that. Taking the Lord's name in vain. Oh my gosh.
Purpose of making that statement, knowing full deal good and well that the
Trust me.
Yeah.
we're going to do
Seth can have his fucking PIs. I don't need PIs.
problems.
So,
Well, that didn't age well, because he ended up getting Steve Fisher, right? And Steve Fisher went on the Laura Lodge, and he gave video surveillance to the news saying that they believed it could be new. And obviously we know that that wasn't exactly true, right? Because, well, Mob Crew has gone over that a million ways till Sunday. But it came out by law enforcement, put a statement out that it wasn't. They have no footage of him being seen leaving that house. They already had that footage, and they already knew all about it. So it wasn't breaking and it wasn't new. or unseen?
Already been run down.
She opened her mouth, made the statement. She's the catalyst to the fucking storm that is now brewing. It doesn't take much. I could go out there, open my mouth, say one fucking word, and I could almost break the fucking internet. Look what I did the other night when I got on that show. When you said I wanted on the show, that shit fucking almost broke the fucking internet. No, that's the one time I went out there and stated the fucking facts.
Yeah.
I didn't go berserk. No, I'm fucking pissed. There's a difference in berserk and stupid, psychotic, and every other adjective you want to add into it. I did, and I had every fucking right to say what I said. Nothing I said was fucking false. Nothing.
I didn't say it was. I don't think anything you said was false.
I don't know.
When I told her exactly how many dogs, where they all went, what they've all done, she's like, there's nothing I can really do or offer at this point other than to
The kind of
assist in a search if needed.
Yeah.
bodies we did and starts talking.
I promise you, if Bobby told Seth anything of what he's told us, Seth opens his fucking mouth. I promise you, it won't ever open again.
So he's saying that if Seth, which is Sebastian's father, is told something by law enforcement, the guy that was investigating this case, then the stepdad is saying he'll make sure he never opens it again.
You can tell her you can tell her those are my fucking words, not yours.
Isn't that interesting? When you're trying to find him, I mean, why would you say things like that?
Mine.
I kind of feel bad for Chloe right now.
Oh, I don't. When you're a fucking amateur PI and you do some stupid shit like she's done, you explain to me how anything, and I've even told you this, how the certain things that y'all have done on fucking YouTube and all this shit, how the fuck it does anything to help find Sebastian other than just put shit out there. It doesn't. It has left y'all down a what? Completely empty fucking road.
Obviously, we haven't found him, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got thinking about this the other night when you and I talked. You said you don't want to sound like a liar or anything. You're right, you don't. And that's great. But now you got information out there that actually has absolutely fucking zero to do with anything. Because there's no clues, there's nothing up to what y'all have released. Got a friend of mine who is highly respected. And all of a sudden, he made a good point. He didn't tell me that. And I was like, you know what? You're very valid on that. Very valid.
On what?
Information that's out there that actually has nothing to do with finding Sebastian.
But
What purpose it serves to bring through my, I mean, let's just be honest.
Let's re-listen to what he's saying. So is he saying that his friend made a point that if they push propaganda, it'll distract from finding Sebastian, or it'll bring in more clicks and views? What is going on here? What is this? I'm just saying, like, the way that what it implies, right? The implication doesn't kind of add up, right? That's how the majority of people see it, you know? I'm just giving all perspectives on why we feel the way we feel when we talk about it. And opinions are subject to change. But when you listen to these things, you know, what do you think?
He didn't tell me that. And I was like, you know what? You're very valid on that. Very valid.
on what?
Information that's out there that actually has nothing to do with finding Sebastian.
But
What purpose it serves to bring through my, I mean, let's just be honest, I was fine
Well.
with it. I mean, fine. I don't understand why that needs to be.
Well,
yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I gotta get up and get ready to go to work. I don't have my Go fucking Fund Me page to pay my bills.
Let's jump straight into the sources today. This deep dive.
So in the background, it sounds like she's saying it was violent. Some people keep saying that she says she was violently violated. I'm not sure. You can let me know down below what you think, or let me know in chat. And he seems really focused on the money again, for some reason. He brought up the GoFundMe situation again. And I found it to be really interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's go over here. Now we're going to get into a clip where he was telling, another creator that he wished that they choked on a chicken bone. So there seems to be a lot of anger and a lot of intimidating, if not to some people, we would take it as a threat, right? Language that goes on in some of these discussions. So we're going to listen a little bit to what Chris McDonough and Josh from the lab had to say last night as they reviewed this audio. That is pretty shocking because there's about a 7 to 8 minute argument over property lines in the beginning of it. 7 to 8 minute argument about property lines. Okay. We're going to skip through that.
Is you just keep poking the bear. Don't play nice. He is with Sebastian there. And he'll blow, like he's headed to Mars with Elon Musk.
What with her, Katie?
I mean, we wouldn't know each other. I mean, we have no reason to know each other prior to this. But
it's not hard to make a phone call and talk to somebody first.
Up at some point.
the glass in his round window break.
I just think it's interesting that one part that you hear when he's like, we don't know, we have no reason, and we don't know each other, and that whole little thing that you're going to hear again in a minute. That's why I kind of thought that it kind of fed into people playing, and pretending not to know one another. That's where a lot of the speculations came that maybe this PI wasn't exactly there to help Seth Rogers, but to kind of keep a handle on things, as if, she was doing something else, like she was mediating because she was told, we don't want Seth to hear about this. We don't want Seth to hear about that. So it's interesting that it's, got to be put out there on the record that, we don't know each other, very interesting.
We should break it out of here.
Oh yeah, this guy. That's interesting.
I can see that happening here.
You're on my property.
But I really wish that you would lighten up a little bit because we are focusing on the wrong thing when we should be focusing on finding Sebastian.
If you want me to lighten up,
I do.
You want me to lighten up?
Yes, sir.
It's real simple.
I will not walk on your property again. I apologize for walking down the easement, what looked like an easement.
You told my neighbor you were hired by the family, and I am the family. So
exactly.
If I didn't hire
that
you,
tells me right there that you're hired by the Rogers family.
But I am not hired to implicate or accuse you. And
I'm not asking you to implicate.
I am trying to find him, so I want to talk to you too.
You'll come find me.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm here trying to find you.
I'm not hard to find.
Okay, when do you want it? Let's set this up. When do you want to meet? Whenever. We're at Memphis. I'll be in Jackson tomorrow, so I can meet you. I can come all the way to Memphis if that's what you require, or you can meet me somewhere in between.
Well, I would prefer you come see me because I work nights. So 9 to 1 when you guys are up, I'm actually sleeping.
But my problem with the PI going to see him was he wasn't there, allegedly, supposedly. But
I agree, and I think it's kind of odd. It's also interesting how Heather was just going to be in Jackson and he was going to be in Memphis, but I guess that's how PIs are, right?
Isn't there?
No, but he's projecting that he's there now.
He's there. He's there now, but what good is he going to do meeting with her? Katie was the one that was in custody of Sebastian. So I don't understand why she needs to see him other than him just controlling the situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right? Heather would be able to answer that, but here's the situation with him. And maybe she's going to do it, but in a situation like that, you say, no problem. What's a good day that works for you? And then, lock that in. And then you turn to Katie and say, well, I'm here now. How about you and I sit down? And then watch for or listen for his reaction. Because he said a little bit ago, there's no way you're going to talk to her without me going through me. Something to that effect, right?
Yes.
So,
and I think he expanded on that too.
No, you want to pull that control mechanism even further out of him. Okay. You want to see that behavior, see how long it takes for that behavior to manifest itself.
If you got a hold of this audio, obviously none of this is implicating them in the crime. It's about, there's no proof of anything, but I mean, look, you look at behaviors, you look at patterns, you look at, as an investigator, I mean, sometimes even if you can't prove something,
definitely agree with you.
Do you ever look at, a partner that's investigating with you and just go, it just doesn't feel right. I mean, I don't have what I need, but this is odd behavior.
Well, I mean, anybody can listen to this and go, well, that's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely
this
weird.
isn't temper.
It's so weird. It seems like fake. It really does. It seems like horrible acting, in my opinion.
This is lost.
So it's like, is it cognitive dissonance? Because there's a real missing child. So what is happening right now? How is this guy acting like this?
Emotional rage. He has no impulse control. And so
It's
you
not going to be
you want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
you and Katie. It's just going to be you.
He'll watch this tonight at some point and go nuts. He'll be sitting at home yelling at us, at the screen, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah.
Unless Katie's coming down to see me when she can, we have other things that have to happen at the house. It wouldn't be together. The only time we're going to be together might be Sunday, Monday. That's when we might actually be back together again.
Okay, well,
I'm working.
I mean, I'd rather do it both at the same time. You already said you don't want me talking to your wife without you present. So that would mean.
And you can ask the cops that. They don't show up and talk to her without somebody telling us both. That's just the way this works.
I don't know if you caught that, but it's interesting that he said they're not going to be back together again until Sunday, Monday, because she has things to finish up at the house. That's very interesting.
That's safety in numbers. I don't trust. Don't take it the wrong way. I don't know.
Well, and I mean, we wouldn't know each other. I mean, we have no reason to know each other prior to this. But
it's not hard to make a phone call and talk to somebody first. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
However, my history with cases like this is that, especially with you guys are already defensive.
Right, I understand that. Not everybody in this world is like that. Not everybody is like that. I'm not. I'll be honest, I'm level-headed, I'm very brash, I'm blunt to the point. I've already told the cops this. I don't give a flying fuck what happens to him or what happens to that fucking family.
Yeah.
They did what they did.
Yeah. What would be really great in a perfect world would be if I could calm that down a little bit, because right now, but it's not this isn't helping Sebastian.
So this is sort of the cooling off, now that he feels like he has wrangled this situation, he's got an apology from her, and now he's like, look, you can meet with me. Will Katie be there? Well, she might be, but there's other stuff that has to happen. Like he's trying to dominate everything that's going on here, in a situation that he wasn't even involved in, allegedly.
But that's why I want to hear from his wives.
It didn't help Sebastian when he aired his trauma. It didn't help Sebastian when he accused his mother of murder. It didn't help Sebastian when he made almost $50,000 on my son going missing.
Who did?
Seth.
Yeah. Don't know. I didn't know about that.
So she's obviously got money on her mind. She's obviously got, this idea that his mother was accused of murder. Well, how would Sebastian know all this? How would Sebastian know? I mean, she's using Sebastian as a pawn in the conversation, where in reality, what she's really saying is, I hate him because he's made money and he's accused me of hurting my son. That's what she should be saying. But what she did, though, is she inserted Sebastian in that role of how was he helping Sebastian by accusing and then making money and just going down a list.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that have to do with Sebastian?
Well, nothing. I mean, it seems like they're airing grievances is what they're doing instead of.
Her attention is focused on Seth because the PI that he's allegedly hired is at her door. And so Heather's taken it for the team. But again, what does that have to do with how is that hurting Sebastian?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's listen to that again.
I'm going missing. It didn't help Sebastian.
Yeah, I would like, what would be really great in a perfect world would be if I could calm that down a little bit, because right now, but it's not this isn't helping Sebastian.
She's right. So whatever they're doing right now, right at this very moment, this discussion that they're having about property lines and stuff, it's not helping Sebastian. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. They didn't want her walking on the easement, and that it was their property line. Blah blah blah. Fine. I mean, okay, they have every right to do that. And personally, I mean, I'm sure it could have been handled with the, hey, can you please stay off our property like that unless we're home and you're an invited guest or whatever, not.
Or here's one. You're here to help find Sebastian? Yes. Okay. Come on in.
Right. Of course.
Can we talk? Hey, Chris, do you have some time that we can talk? Oh, absolutely. Okay. You see the difference? I mean, that's not even irrational. This is irrational, it sounds like. I mean, there's a fight over, trespassing signs. There's a fight over, I'm not there, my wife is, and you're not talking to her until I am there. There's a fight over, well, I work, 9 to 1. That's there's a fight over the scheduling. There's a fight over everything here. It's a big fight.
Big fight.
So how do you solve the problem and find Sebastian?
Helped Sebastian when he aired his trauma. It didn't help Sebastian when he accused his mother of murder. It didn't help Sebastian when he made almost 50.
By the way, and I'm not accusing Katie of murder or anything like that, because I have no evidence of anything like that. But like, mothers have murdered their children before. I mean, it's not like it's some asinine, thing that people do. I mean, people hurt their children. I mean, you're not above reproach just because you think you are. And they always, I mean, if you don't think that isn't something that has been tossed around between investigators, I mean, you'd be crazy, because they would have to bring up these scenarios.
$1,000 on my son going missing.
Who did?
Seth.
Yeah. Don't know. I didn't know about that. I don't know anything about that.
Every single day he goes on internet sleuths.
Let me lay this out for you, okay? They could investigate.
Him. I tried to work with him.
We were all in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Katie, Seth, and 2 other witnesses in law enforcement. We're in the house.
Yeah.
I brought up what can we do to help with this situation.
Right. Okay.
And when I said, hey, do we need to raise money? Do we need to get some investigators? What do we need? Horses, whatever. We'll do whatever.
Yeah.
They said, don't. Don't do anything with money because it makes the family look bad and it could turn ugly. Okay, cool. All of us standing in that living room in my house made an agreement that said we were not going to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so
hold on. Well, wait, Doggy. Stop. Turn your phone around. Not you. Hers. I want to see her, the face of her phone.
Oh, that she's. You want to see the face of my phone? Let me unlock it.
This conversation.
Stop. Look how he just talked to his wife. He said, turn your phone around. And she did. He goes, not you, hers. Now think about that. Okay. I mean, let's process the meat grinder here, because I'm going to start calling him the meat grinder, because that's what he is. He's a meat grinder. Okay. Who, by the way, deep down inside is extremely insecure. Okay. He really is. I mean, this is a very clear indication of a problem here. There's only two possibilities with this child. For the first one is foul play. And the second one is, if he did walk out of the house, the biggest indicator that autism that he has could have been in play here was the fact that he walked out of the house with no shoes on. There have been many cases where autistic children have walked out of the house without their shoes, and they walk for miles and miles and miles and miles. Okay. However, the other side of it is he is not doing himself any favor with the authorities if he thinks he's got him snowballed. There is not a chance on this earth that the authorities are sitting back and going, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that guy, with the meat grinder. Okay. I'm listening to this call for the very first time within 50 days of this child disappearing, and all they want to do is fight about the ex-husband. Okay. Yep. And it just doesn't make it again, it goes to show you there is no impulse control here. So what the authorities should be doing is, rather than playing nice with him, you know, worried that he's going to lawyer up, because I'm sure he's already lawyered up. Okay.
Yes, they have. I don't know at this point in time, but they're lawyered up now. And it's also, it was reported by somebody, I believe his name, Nerdy Addict, who was talking to Chris Proudfoot, that Katie was pulled in for an interview some time ago alone. And she didn't like the way that the questioning was going. So she called Chris, and Chris shut it down. That's the same exact information that I got from a different source. The exact same information that was the last time that they spoke to law enforcement.
Okay. So the way that can be fixed is you just keep poking the bear. Don't play nice. If this was my case, I would call him up and say, you know, you're doing pretty good. What do you mean by that? Let him go 0 to 60. And then you follow it up with, but I'm coming. Click. And then you just watch the helium rise to the sky, and you jump on the comet as it's going by. You use his anger against him, and you embrace it as an investigator. Embrace it. And then keep pushing him a little more. Keep pushing. You know, we're 2 years into this, and what's he doing? Nothing. Well, so let's interview his ex-wives, Josh, you and I, on this channel.
Yeah, let's do it.
$90 or $100 says he jumps into the chat.
Yeah, he probably would. He does that quite often.
Great. Awesome. Jump in. And then, of course, you always hear, oh, you know, I'm going to sue you and all this other crap. Okay, fine. Remember I told you years ago during the OJ case, one of our guys in our squad went out and he got all these Johnny Cochran cards, these business cards, with Johnny Cochran's phone number, his law officers on it. And you'd be out there, you know, And everybody was like, I'm suing you. I'm calling Johnny Cochran. Literally, you reach in your pocket and you go, here's his card. We had like 100 Johnny Cochran cards on the streets. Okay. Can you imagine how many phone calls that guy got?
Yeah, he was pretty talented, wasn't he?
He got hundreds of phone calls. I'm sure of it. Okay. But the point being, okay, that it's like, okay, so you have a couple of friends who can, put injunctions on, other people. But at the same time, we're talking about a 15-year-old boy that's disappeared 2 years ago. And I think we should just, if you can line it up, let's have, ex-wives conversations, because they are gold. Ex-wives know more about their ex-husbands than anybody. And it's golden. Some of the information.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I hate to say this, but five wives by the time you're 40 years old is.
Did he have 5 wives? I forgot.
I think Katie's his 5th wife.
Okay. Well, the other 4 got great stories.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does that look? Unless you're King Solomon, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to be married that many times. Can you imagine?
I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very telling.
And here's the sad part with Katie. She's next.
Sure. I mean, look, the chances that, they stay married with his track record is almost slim to none. However, my biggest problem with all of these people that weren't there when somebody went missing, when the child goes missing, we hear this a lot, is the need to just dominate the situation. Because first of all, is there a scenario where Candace could have done something with Summer without Don knowing? Yes, that could be possible.
Sure.
Do you think that he wouldn't know about it now? Probably not. Okay. But is there a scenario that something happened in that house that Chris had no idea about? Of course, if he was not there. Absolutely. So why are they so adamant about being the ones that are spoken to? I wouldn't care if he really wasn't there, and I have no reason to believe him or not to believe him. I'm ambivalent about it. Until there's proof one way or the other, I don't really know, and nobody else does. Only Chris and maybe law enforcement.
Has law enforcement come out and say he was not home?
No, not that I know of.
No, they're not going to come out and say that, because they're not going to tip their hat to him that they know exactly where he's at or exactly what he did, i.e., did he turn his phone on? Was it off? And if so, they're going to hold that as a card close to the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And the more he spouts off, if it's not true, that's gold. I mean, that's just beautiful.
Right.
Keep going.
Right.
Don't take it the wrong way, but I told you I don't trust people right now. And people are trying to use shit and however they can. But that conversation in that living room was an agreed upon deal not to do anything with a GoFundMe page and collect money and benefit off of this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Stop. Okay. Look how he prefaced the whole conversation. Okay. Well, how did he start it with? Don't take this the wrong way. Why do you give a warning that there's a flood coming?
Because he's going to unload. He's going to say all kinds of stuff.
Right. And
don't take it the wrong way, but your client is a blah blah, or whatever. It almost what I'm hearing here is like, I don't know why you're working for the family. Look at everything they've done. That but listen a little more here.
Sure shit, what happened? The very next fucking day, there's a GoFundMe fucking page that's posted. So I'm sorry.
So I didn't understand how he knew that Sebastian wouldn't be found and would need money when my son hadn't been missing 72 hours, and yet he knew he was going to need money to pay his bills that far in advance.
Which is what she just said. There is an implication that Seth knew that Sebastian was going to be missing and that he was going to need money for it because he knew that he wasn't going to be found, which is an implication of basically her, in a way, accusing Seth of being responsible for the disappearance of Sebastian to his PI. Listen to this one more time.
So I didn't understand how he knew that.
GoFundMe page could collect money and benefit off of this.
Mm-hmm.
And sure as shit, what happened? The very next fucking day, there's a GoFundMe fucking page that's posted. So I'm sorry.
So I didn't understand how he knew that Sebastian would be found and would need money when my son hadn't been missing 72 hours, and yet he knew he was going to need money to pay his bills that far in advance. That speaks volumes to me. The fact that he can't be bothered to help look for his son in the beginning. The fact that he literally released my son's sensitive trauma issues and blatantly lied about all of the details surrounding it, including the age of the person who did it to him. The fact that he has turned my son missing into some dramatized bullshit for the internet.
Yeah, just so he can profit. And it's sad. It is truly sickening, honestly. It's sickening if we profit off of this.
I don't need to be on television making affairs. I don't need to brag that I have done what I have done to help find my son.
Well, I understand how you guys feel about everything.
So you don't push the information to Detective Carter?
I haven't talked to Carter yet. Carter has not gotten back with me. So I had to...
Down here with me.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
There's
But
a reason why they didn't answer.
yeah.
I know that.
But so yeah. But
Don't take this the wrong way, but why is a PI
Don't take this the wrong way. Did you hear that?
Of
going
course.
on doing internet sleuth interviews?
This part cracks me up. What are they doing? Doing internet sleuth videos. Somehow getting the word out, I guess. Because the more people that you can get, like all of us, maybe it'll help you find your son. Because all the internet sleuths text the flyers. They usually, get involved by trying to help. They share it on social media. They email. They may text it to people, hang flyers, maybe make phone calls, try to, raise awareness, get the attention of people like this amazing man, Chris McDonough, and the labs, Josh, and other people, that'll have broader reach, or maybe they might think of something that could help the case and help the investigators. You never know. But it's so interesting how she's saying internet sleuths when her and her hubby over there went on Duchess for the missing, who had hardly any followers at the time. And that's not to be rude or anything at all to that lady's channel. I'm just saying they went on a channel that wouldn't even get 0.000000001% of the local population, let alone if he could be anywhere, like his mom said.
but so yeah. But
Don't take this the wrong way, but why is a PI going on doing internet sleuth interviews?
he contacted me before I was even hired to work the case.
Just,
but yeah,
no
but
offense, I'm just asking.
no, I mean, I'm not a sleuth. I'm actually a PI.
I didn't call you a sleuth.
Yeah.
That's why
Oh, the sleuth podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, they asked me for my thoughts on the Sebastian Rogers case, and
So
who is
we're
it?
aware of all of that. And Seth is not doing anything that he hasn't already done to me in the past.
Like, I'm not interested in the drama. I'm not interested in the rumors. I'm going to base who I think needs to be on the radar based on my interviews, my investigation, not what anybody else says.
So I have a question. You conduct your portion, do your thing.
Mhm.
And we all know the Rogers family has hired you.
Okay.
It is very evident.
Okay.
Because we didn't hire.
They announced it publicly. It's not a secret. I know, but we already know.
There is another PI too, by the way.
I know. There's at least like 3 or 4 of them.
Oh yeah, I will tell you this. You can tell all the PIs, because I know you all talk.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're sick and tired of being stalked and people coming on our properties. Because that's not just my property. It's
Yeah.
theirs. We've
Okay.
worked
You know,
with
we're cool about that. Like,
probably 24 different, I'm the best one, I'm going to crack the case people already. And every last one of them that have talked to us, we have said, you are welcome to come and start from square one. You're not going to find anything that,
Well, I only
250 professionals didn't, but you're welcome to try, because at this point,
I haven't been here since day one when all this went down.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. People can say, well, I understand how you feel when nobody knows how we feel.
Yeah.
Because unless you've lost a child and you've gone through this crap,
Mhm.
you don't know. Like, I don't tell people, you don't know shit.
Okay.
You know?
Chris, you've investigated many missing persons cases before. How often do people, in your experience, act this way that truly want answers?
What was the last part, Josh?
How many people act that, like, if you're not implicated in what's happening, do people typically act this way?
everything that I'm hearing here is all the walls are up, all the barriers are up. Okay. And what they're doing is they're projecting all this stress, anxiety in relationship to, well, my son is missing. Well, first of all, it's not his son. Sebastian is not his son, number one.
True.
Okay. So he's taken possession of Seth's emotional attachment to his biological son. That's not normal. Okay. He's a stepfather. And stepfathers typically, have a difficult time with stepchildren unless they've raised them from, a real, like babies almost, right? And this is where, moms say, well, let me handle it. Let me fix it, etc.
That's true.
And the proper position for a stepfather is to step back and say, you know what, you're right. I don't want to, pour gas on a fire. What I'm hearing here is he's an arsonist. He's an emotional arsonist. Okay. All he does is light fires and then stands back, watches them and enjoys the burn and then say, why are you blaming me for the fire?
That's how it does seem, yeah.
She is in a submissive role.
Yeah.
Because she's probably afraid of him. And we have Dawn and Candace dynamics here without the prison terms. Dawn was in prison for so long, his whole life, quote, he grew up in the system. But the baggage train on, the meat grinder here is 4 other women and probably children that he was abusive to in relationship to emotional abuse and, stress put onto the family. Okay. And so his whole MO, again, he's an emotional arsonist. So he lights the fire and then he screams, you don't understand what it's like to watch the fire burn. And so my assessment of him from a criminal behavioral analysis assessment almost immediately is he has mommy issues.
It is really interesting to listen to all this stuff. It is so interesting to me. So interesting. And the deception detective, when I watched him, he had it. Remember, he was like, anybody that watched that, he said they have some sort of guilty knowledge.
A lot of them. He internally for him, he's never been able to hit a standard that his mommy set for him. And so he takes it out on her, on the women around him. This guy has, a pathway of fires.
Yeah.
And he turns around and looks back and says, why did you start all of those? You made me light the match.
Well, nobody made anybody do anything with Sebastian because you didn't have to. You could just tell the truth. Everybody could just tell the damn truth. Where does Sebastian? Where did he go? Where did you put him? Where is he? Where is Sebastian Rogers? Not that hard, but I think maybe people think that they can just keep it going and nobody's ever going to get to the bottom of it. That's not possible. That's not possible. We've had tons of cases that have been no body cases, circumstantial cases. We've had so many different times. Well, so many. And not only that, we have a lot of recent cases even that, parents are arrested or step-parents and said to, allegedly, in my opinion, produce the child, right? Produce the child.
It should have been done the first week.
Yeah, I can ask him. Let's see.
Yeah.
He was here. But I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
We've already asked Seth this question, so it's not going to be traumatic for him. Just FYI.
Let's see. here. Well, I wait. Let's finish this while I see if I.
Well, I will tell you. I will tell you that I have only been hired on this case for 2 days.
I will forewarn you. So anything that you get, do you share back to the family?
So I'll share what? Share back to the family. Is that what you said?
Anything. Yeah, if you anything that you find or you get, share.
It's going to depend if it comes from law enforcement, which is what I told Weatherford. If it's something they share with me that they tell me, because I understand that there are some things that don't need to be in the public. And if it's
Answering our question, are you going to give them information back? Yes or no? I mean, it's real simple.
depending on what it is. If it's something I can share with them, yes.
Like, that's not a red flag. Like, giving law enforcement information. Of course they're going to give law enforcement information. Why wouldn't you want it to go to law enforcement first, right? You're going to want information to go to law enforcement first. Why does somebody else that allegedly wasn't at the house, has nothing to do with the disappearance, doesn't know what happened to Sebastian, has no clue, why would they need to have any information flipped first? Couldn't that be considered, trying to interfere with an investigation? I mean, isn't it an active case? Yes, it still is. It's still active. Almost 2 years. Yep, that's right, it is. And remember, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This case has been full of twists and turns. So we look at all the different angles and the different speculations and how people come to each one. And there's plenty of ways, but when you hear stuff like this, it makes you speculate even more that there's something not right here with the stepfather.
Yes, I will share it with them.
I will say this: I wish you the best of luck. I hope you find some. I hope you get some. Truly.
That sort of seemed condescending to me.
Well, he's more worried about what the Rogers family gets than the well-being of Seth, or excuse me, of Sebastian.
Sebastian,
yeah. That
really do.
Right.
That's
I hope you can find. I don't give a shit what it is. Piece of evidence or something that move something in one direction.
Right.
I will tell you this: there is no chance Seth Rogers or the Roger family is going to reach out and contact us, and there's going to be reciprocating phone calls because it ain't happening right now.
There doesn't need to be phone calls between you guys.
The only way that's going to happen, he ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it. Yeah, it's real simple. So, and I mean, unfortunately, he's made his bed. He's going to lie. I mean, it is what it is.
I tried 4 different times to get him to interview with me.
It seems like y'all were somewhat cordial in the beginning.
We were.
We have been very cordial. I got proof of shit that where he's running his mouth that he didn't talk to me and all this. I got phone records where I've had hour-long conversations.
When he said that Hayat spoke to him, that we refused to speak to him for 2 weeks, he was on the phone with him for long periods of time, damn near every day at that point. Welcome
They were welcome in the house. It was fine. And what was your name again?
This is what they told us about you too.
Well, everybody and I'm being honest, everybody on fucking Facebook, all this YouTube, all this TikTok, all this bullshit, they could take those fucking shows and.
This is what they told us about you too.
Well, everybody and I'm being honest, everybody on fucking Facebook, all this YouTube, all this TikTok, all this bullshit, they could take those fucking shows and stick them so far up their asses, and I hope they choke off.
Yeah.
Quiet on.
With him for long periods of time, damn near every day at that point. Welcome
They were welcome in the house. It was fine. And what was your name again?
This is what they told us about you too.
Well, everybody. It was fine. And what was your name again?
This is what they told us about you too.
Well, everybody and I'm being honest, everybody on fucking Facebook. Facebook, all this YouTube, all this. TikTok, all this bullshit. They could take those fucking shows and stick them so far up their asses, and I hope they choke off.
Yeah.
Quiet on it.
That's you.
Yeah, I'm joking right now. Hear that again.
This TikTok, all this bullshit. They could take those fucking shows and stick them so far up their asses, and I hope they choke off.
Yeah.
Quiet on it. There ain't a fucking one of them out there that have sit here and run us through the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire.
Well, we're so unhinged that they found some lady that has the same name as me.
I mean,
murdered her child.
yeah. If there was somebody on fire and the only way to put them out was that way, and I didn't like them, I would probably still do it.
Yes, in the early 2000s, and they're trying to say that that's me.
That's the problem with sleuths that don't have access to like actual databases, is that a lot of these like Truth Finder and all those like, the public access ones, there's mixed information.
Let me ask you this. You're going after sex offenders, obviously.
Now, this is interesting, Chris. Listen to this.
Right. That's my...
You have the access to scan the dark web for trafficking?
Yeah.
Okay, now,
I
this is not a sex offender that has committed this crime. Okay? That is 43 years chasing sex offenders who have actually committed crimes. Unfortunately, this has not been a situation where Sebastian is sitting on the dark web somewhere because somebody snagged him out of the house when all the cameras were down, and mom works for a Brinks company that puts up surveillance systems.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And hers just happens to be down that night. And they're now selling him on the dark web somewhere. First of all, that's just ludicrous speed. Completely. Put the Darth Vader helmet on and press stop, because you're going to hit the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you take Summer and you take somebody else's history and you plug that history into that set of scenario, and then you plug in the shed at the bottom of the hill,
Oh, horrible.
we may be onto something somewhere. She could have been moved.
Oh, geez.
Said that from the beginning.
Yep.
Right? But in this situation, it's like apples and oranges, and all that is just, they're trying to guide they're trying to guide a narrative that
Yeah, I want you to look down this whole.
It's definitely serial.
It almost seems like she's directing her to like a dead end,
a rabbit hole.
Oh,
a rabbit hole. I mean, sex trafficking. I mean, do you know like how labor intensive? I mean, no offense to any PI, but the FBI has trouble tracking it down.
Well, you know how labor intensive it is, sex trafficking a 15-year-old autistic boy on medication.
Yeah, I mean it's almost unheard of. I would think. And by the way, how does he get out of the house, or how does anybody pick him up or show up at the house and no cameras caught anything? That doesn't make sense from the standpoint of whoever he's obviously.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. So it's interesting. It's like, well, could that possibly be something that happened and then somebody assists with removal or disposal after, or Is there something she was thinking in the back of her mind? Like, where would that come from when clearly that doesn't seem to be the way that we're acting, right? Didn't seem to be the way that we're acting. In my opinion.
Not in the house. He was in the house from what we were told. But the fact of the matter is he had to get out of the house somehow. And it seems as though whoever was able to get him out of the house was aware of the cameras or lack of cameras.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to let's look at the risk level of the offender. If this is a random situation, risk level of the offender. Okay. Is it a high risk to go to a house where somebody's blowing a gasket about trespassing signs?
Yeah.
You know, imagine trying to get into that house to get the target. And then once you're in the house, you have to evade all of the other target systems, i.e. mom, cameras, all this other stuff. You'd have to know that the cameras were down that night.
Correct.
Okay. And I mean, these are just common sense things. And then you're going to take the child somehow out of the house, maybe, you know, Houdini or whatever. Okay. And you're going to try to get him out of the house so nobody sees him, including the mom, who the last time was out in the living room. Did she go to bed? Do we know? Was she in her bedroom or was she in the living room?
I think she was in the living room on the phone with Chris, her husband.
But that was she heard a thump at midnight, right?
10 o'clock, 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
And she yells, "Go to bed," if I remember right.
Something like that, yes.
Okay. Didn't she hear another bang or something like that somewhere?
She said that she heard a thud.
Okay. She hears a thud. At what time was that? I forget.
Was it 9 or 10? It was 9 or 10 o'clock, I believe.
Okay. 9 or 10 o'clock, whatever it is. Okay. Either way, she yells.
Went to bed at midnight.
Yeah. Go to bed. She goes to bed at midnight. And then from midnight to what? 6 in the morning?
Nothing. Yeah. And then she wakes him up. She goes to wake him up for school. He's gone.
Okay. So you got 6 hours.
No forced entry. Shoes are there. Everything that I guess would be dear to him is there.
So somehow a perpetrator makes it into the house to take him and put him on the dark web for trafficking.
The only way that I could see this theory working is if it was already a planned thing. They were already at the house. Just like that Ring neighborhood update that we had that said that there was somebody in a gray sweatshirt hiding behind trees at 6:30 p.m. Things like that. If those were actually accurate, which we'll never know because it's active investigation unless they were ever part of something that had arrests, and then we'd have all this stuff, you know. And that would be the only way, right? They would have to be privileged to already knowing that was going on, in my opinion. You would have to already know that somebody was going to be there to take your son, in my opinion.
Correct.
And leaves nothing behind, no evidence, no nothing. It's just, you know, he's gone. He vanished. Right?
Unless you participated and made sure that you got rid of anything that could have been, you know, we're just speculating here. We're just speculating. I mean, we know that when that one searcher guy that everybody was asking questions about was brought up, nobody seemed to care to even bat an eye. They didn't think it was weird, but then they don't know what happened to Sebastian. interesting behavior that, you know, Chris and them claim they don't have a clue what happened to him. But when that guy was out, you know, that still looks for Sebastian, that pretends, you know, to do serial unaliving type content and all of that, they didn't seem to bat an eyelash that he was a risk or that it was risky. But then you hear them talking about this kind of stuff. It's all very peculiar, in my opinion. And it just leads to speculation on speculation on speculation, which is why it's great that we have so many different agencies involved and that the FBI is giving us updates on this, because eventually it'll all be figured out, you know, and then there won't be any speculating.
Vanished. That's right.
Okay. How much is the bridge in Brooklyn? I forget.
I don't know, but it certainly is for sale.
Can get that done. Not me personally, but I know somebody. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Please. I mean, you're not more for me, but
yeah, no, but that's, I mean, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on?
Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking. And they just found 11 missing kids. And everybody's going after.
This is straight up Don Wells talking point 2.0. I mean, he used to say this crap to me. Matter of fact, he went as far as to say, everybody's talking about this and that, and all these kids were found because of the Biden administration. And I mean, it was a whole thing. I mean, you heard a lot of that too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
And then finally, when you go, Don, and then he would go, all right. I mean, remember when you'd call him on it, and you did that to him before. You let him this is one of the funniest things, and I hope I'm not revealing too much, but
no, you're fine.
Even after all of our blow-ups, Chris had a conversation with Don, where Don was like, CPS is involved, the government, all this stuff. And Chris let him talk for like 20 minutes straight. And Chris finally just goes, Don, come on. And he goes, okay.
That's the point.
I remember. I was just like,
you know what's so strange though, is that since they're still ongoing and active, you never know. There could always be some truth in every lie. Maybe you're on, maybe it's because you're around undesirable people. Maybe it's because you're into not good things and you're around people that, do bad things. Because we do know that kids really are, trafficked. We do know even Tennessee's CPS got in trouble for things. And so there is, am I saying that's the case with this? No, I'm just saying in general, right? So, crazy things happen. Every rabbit hole once in the, 1 out of a trillion statistically ends up, unfortunately, being a reality. Just like every nightmare horror movie style stuff sometimes ends up, where it has occurred to people at some point in time in history, right? And so you never know. You really don't know, if some parents just have guilty knowledge because are they just not telling the truth that, maybe I was on the dark web and I did such and such, or, maybe I was around somebody that people said were no good and but I cared more about my rugs, with a D, than my child, or I didn't really think they were going to hurt them, and it was just for money, or it was just to, whatever, all kinds of things, all kinds of different things. And since they're still active and ongoing, you speculate on all kinds of theories, right? And you look at every person and everything. You don't control a narrative and be tunneled and say, oh, I'm going to look at that person, but I'm not going to pay any attention to this person over here that's, doing the most, So you guys know how I am. We look at everything. We talk about everything. We watch everything, That's all you can do. You don't get tunneled, even though we all do get tunneled to an extent,
Unbelievable that, and I mean, he went into detail, and finally when you told him, come on, and he's like, all right, and you're just like, God.
I was actually just sitting down to pee, but whatever,
But it was like,
If you listen to this call, which I'm hearing for the very first time, you know, it's like, that doesn't make sense. And
no, yeah, none of it does really.
No.
Would investigators listen to this?
Oh, sure.
They would. Okay. So if somebody walked in with a tape like this and said, hey, maybe if you were lead detective on this case, you say, hey, I have something for you to listen to. I mean, this is something that they would take and go, wow.
Well, I'm not going to talk about it, but look at Sarah. She had 11 TikToks and then 300 and something.
Yeah.
After. So, yeah, absolutely. Let them run. Let them run. Love your avatar, by the way.
Thank you.
Come on. Is that a Superman? You should have put a corn dog in his hand.
Come on.
You still have time.
I wonder what I would be. What kind of avatar does Josh have? Can't tell. It almost looks like the guy has French fries on his shirt. I don't know what superhero I would be if I had to pick one.
And right, everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's trafficking, where would they go? Right. Because if he were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have.
See, like when I hear her, it almost makes me seem like, it almost sounds to me like she arranged something to have him something. And it's odd, right? Because you can speculate on a bunch of different things, because he came home, he never left the home. And then you can think this could just be Jupiter's delight and just using every other possible scenario to try to get the heat off of yourself. But sometimes when I listen, it almost sounds like there's some truth in a statement. Thank goodness I'm not an investigator and I'm not working this case, because it would be very hard. However, they have the information that we don't have, right? They have information that we absolutely have no idea about, which I'm sure makes it a little easier to, cross off, things that are not probable.
Been found. None.
Which, by the way,
or rule out
not
things.
True. Absolutely not true. If he was
rule out entirely.
No way that he wouldn't have been found. Kaylee Anthony was 0.8 miles on the side of the road in a ditch, and they had huge turnout.
Yeah, but you know what she just said without saying it?
What?
You need to look out further than 5 miles.
I know. You need to look out further than 5 miles, and you need to check out the trafficking BS.
Because I know every...
I'm telling you, it's interesting, Rosebud. It is interesting. It is interesting. And it is interesting how it was kind of the same thing in Summer's case from when I go back and look. And they said that she was around some undesirable people. Remember that Don Wells allegedly called. Wasn't it Hunter said that he allegedly called to say that the people that were undesirables around the kids were around, and he didn't want them near the kids or something? And it just makes you wonder, if people are into illegal activities and they withhold critical information from investigators, could it be that maybe that's a possibility? If they have, because people can be into bad things and have done bad things, but it doesn't mean that they're the one that did the bad thing. If that makes any sense, right? So I always go back and forth in my head. I don't rule out that there's still a slight possibility. I know other people, are convinced of certain things and that's the way it is. But when I look at the bigger picture and the reactions to that other content creator, or lack thereof reactions, it's just all really odd. Everything that they say and do is seems very strategic, but it also almost seems like, when you listen to Chris in the beginning, like he knew he wasn't involved. So he knows there's no evidence that will link him physically or Katie physically. And then it makes you wonder, doesn't mean that you're not involved. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting tired, so I'm rambling a little bit more than making sense of what I'm trying to say. I'm going to head off in a few when we're done with this, and then we can do part 2 tomorrow when my thoughts are more organized. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. I don't know. What do you think, Rosebud? What do you think the point of that was?
Well, not the trafficking.
So if there's a
It's a subtlety. It's called leakage. I mean, you see, you think, and she did this early on in the interview with the news too. Okay, go back and play that again.
anything to it and someone took him and
Yeah, no, but that's, I mean, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on?
everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking, and they just found 11 missing kids.
See, what she's doing is transferring the conversation to other people. Okay. The reason that's happening is because internally she knows that's not the answer. Because she's saying everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking. And what's happening subconsciously is she's going, well, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Okay. And then she qualifies it. Go ahead.
And everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it.
See, she knows that's not true. So she's leaking subconsciously something going on internally. So in an interview, you would say to somebody like that, you know, it's interesting you brought that up. Help me understand what you mean. Okay. And let her elaborate even further. Okay. To the point where you can say, well, what's your theory? So let's listen to what happens.
And someone took him and it's trafficking. Where would they go? Right. Because if he were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have been found. None. Because I know every single.
You see how she positioned that?
Yeah. Yeah, it was almost kind of like, here, you go chase down this BS that I don't even believe. Here you go.
Well, she said, see, if he were within 5 miles of this house. Okay. Okay, so you'd want to stop her and ask, do you know how far away he is? Why did you choose 5 miles as a reference point? Keep going.
Group, agency, technology.
Go back.
Yeah, everything that was brought in. There's no chance he was within 5. He were within 5 miles of going on. Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking, and they just found 11 missing kids, and everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's traffic.
By the way, don't look within 5 miles because he would have been found already.
Well, she knows it's not true.
That's a ridiculous thing to say. Why would you say that?
She's telling the world right there. In her heart of hearts, mind to mind, she's telling the world that trafficking is BS. She says it.
Yeah.
Play it again. Listen carefully.
Where would they?
Yeah, I can get that done. Going on.
I mean, you're not more for me, but
yeah, no, but that's, I mean, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on?
Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking, and they just found 11 missing kids, and everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's trafficking, where would they go?
Right.
If someone took him and it's trafficking, if someone took him and it's trafficking, play that again. Listen very carefully.
Right. Because if someone took him and it's traffic after this game, and
is going on.
everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking, and they just found 11 missing kids, and everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's trafficking, where would they go?
If there's anything to it and it's trafficking, okay, what she's doing is she's projecting that she doesn't even believe it.
And this is a good point here. And Kelsey, thank you for donating 5 lab memberships. This is why you don't let her talk, right?
Exactly.
Yes, that's a good point.
This is great. I mean, this is good stuff.
He were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have been found. None. Because I know every single group, agency, technology, everything that was brought in, there's no chance he was within 5 miles of this house.
Okay, stop.
Okay. It was done over.
So what she's doing is qualifying that she's aware of the technology that would be utilized, okay, the type of people that would come in to investigate it, okay, because she says, I'm aware of these things, okay, and so what she's doing is she's projecting that she has an edge to this investigation because she would have known. She says it. Go back again.
He was within 5 miles. None. Because I know every single group, where would they go? Right. Because if he were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have been found. None. Because I know every single...
Stop. Okay. Now, why is this important?
I'll rewind that in a second. We're only going to listen to about 5 more minutes and then we'll do the part 2 in the morning. But I found this to be very, 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 very interesting.
Because I know every single...
Stop. Okay. Now, why is this important? If this was a pre-planned event, those were the considerations that was taken into account about the planning. Who would potentially be involved? What technology would be utilized? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So she's positioning herself, at least in this conversation, as being aware of what would happen if an investigation kicked off. And so you have to ask yourself, sitting back as a, just a lay person and or, somebody listening going, well, okay, is he within 5 miles? Well, according to Mom, she already knew that if they hadn't found him within 5 miles, okay, with all the technology and the people involved, FBI, TBI, and all the other folks, that they would have found him by now. So what she did is she kind of leaked out that there could be something else going on here, that he's further out. Are you tracking me here?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like she's directing traffic and saying things that she can't, she couldn't possibly know. Unless she does, meaning with direct knowledge of where he is. And, she can't know that if she has nothing to do with his disappearance. If she knows nothing, if he got up and walked out the door, like she says, and at this,
it has nothing to do with anything, you wouldn't know anything, right? It's very interesting.
At this point, she was like, she at this point, she just claims, we don't know if he walked away or somebody took him. What I'm saying is there's nothing, she's saying things that she can't possibly know to be true without inside information.
Exactly.
That's what it would seem. Something somewhere.
You don't just make those accusations to somebody who's going to be looking for your child. If you want to just track down this, trafficking bullshit.
She's reflecting on her conscience. She's reflecting on something internally that she's remembering. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Play it back a little bit more, and we'll let it run a little bit more. I'm sorry.
As if he
you're fine.
right.
What were you-
Trafficking and trafficking. That's what you think is, you're not more for me, but yeah, no, but that's, I mean, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on? Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking, and they just found 11 missing kids, and everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's
Okay. So Heather asked her a personal question. Is that how you feel? She's asking for an emotional response. And what response did she get?
traffic going after this whole sex offender bullshit. Just found 11. Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking.
That's her response.
And they just found 11 missing kids.
She didn't personalize.
No, she said, well, look, they just found 11 kids.
Okay, but she categorized it as everybody. And now go back just for a second, one more time. Sorry.
Okay.
This is important.
Please.
Sorry.
I mean, you're not more for me, but yeah, no, but that's, I mean, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on? Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking.
You see, she asked her a personal response about, is that how you feel? Is that what you think is going on? And she responds with, everybody, meaning not her, outside of herself. She responds by deflecting outside of herself that everybody else is saying all of these other things. Okay? That takes some skill. That is somebody that has lied all her life. And because she is asked about her feelings about what's taking place here about her son. And she reflects to what other people are saying, not what she is feeling. Okay? That's a problem. It's subtle, but when you start putting Legos together, you get a house.
You're the one that's talked to tens of thousands of people about stuff like this.
Well, this is Candace. And I walk her back to the house, and
she might not be able to talk if it's true that she's scared, or, you know, I just find it all very interesting. I mean, is she back at work yet?
I turned around, she was gone.
Gone. Yeah.
And down at the water hole, it was Candace. What's wrong? I feel like God is punishing me. Why? Man, we were that close.
And I'm telling you, that was one of the truest statements I've ever heard Candace say, and one of the most pure moments that and I've seen, I don't know, just too many clips and audio clips. That was the only time I ever heard her broken down, and like you said, like, I feel like God's punishing me, is a statement that has always stuck in my mind and will always.
The thing about these kind of cases is they don't go away internally for people. They just keep building. They build. So you have to be patient. And I think that was just demonstrated in Idaho. You've got to be patient and let it build. Okay? Because eventually the dam will start to have leaks, emotional leaks. Well, that's what we call leakage. Okay? And in this situation, 50 days into this, I'm hearing these leaks already starting 50 days into this. You see, I'm not listening to what she's saying. I'm listening how she's saying it. Okay? And keep going. I'm sorry.
They just found 11 missing kids, and everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's trafficking, where would they go? Right. Because if he were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have been found. None. Because I know every single group, agency, technology, everything that was brought in, there's no chance he was within 5 miles of this house. Okay. It was done.
She knows.
Well, look, man, she either knows or she has no idea what the hell she's talking about.
She just said, There's no chance he's within 5 miles of this house.
She's very confident in her statement. I agree.
She qualifies it with, I know all the agencies, I know all the technologies, etc. I know that it's a bunch of BS for sex offenders. She just lays it all out there right in front of us. Play that one more time and listen very carefully, everybody.
Wow.
It's trafficking. Web for trafficking.
Yeah, I can get that. Not me personally, but I know somebody. Yeah.
I've often prayed about that, and it is really disheartening when you hear how he says, I have to be there, and we always have to have 2 witnesses. And it's like, okay, is that him, or is that because he's handling Katie, or she's being handled, Yeah, that's so true, Rosebud. Yeah, Sherry, in a bad situation. Yeah. I think that's why I reserve a lot of the speculating on Katie, because we don't know, right? All we know is that it seems like she ghosted everyone, and she has a husband that goes on these shows, and they sit in the courtrooms together. And, we've heard that she allegedly went and met different TikTokers and different content creators. And I don't know.
Okay, please. I mean, I've done you're not more for me, but
yeah, no, but that's, is that how you feel? That's what you think is going on?
Everybody keeps talking about trafficking and trafficking and trafficking, and they just found 11 missing kids, and everybody's going after this whole sex offender bullshit. So if there's anything to it and someone took him and it's trafficking, where would they go?
Right.
Because if he were within 5 miles of this house, there's no chance that he wouldn't have been found. None. Because I know every single group, agency, technology, everything that was brought in, there's no chance he was within 5 miles of this house.
Okay.
It was done over and over and
no chance.
There's no chance he was within 5 miles of this house. She knows that. She's qualified it. Her son disappears. She knows that there's no way he's within 5 miles. So if I was a case agent, I'd take a note. I wouldn't ask it right now, but I'd be writing down, why is that? I want to explore this a little bit more down the road. Okay. I want indicators that tell me why she would make comments like that. Go ahead.
over, and they used heat sinking, they used FLIR, they used vision, they used night. They did they did, if you can name it, they did it, and they did it in multiple ways. I don't think he's that close to home, unless he's in a basement.
Oh, listen to this.
I don't think he's that close to home, unless he's in a basement. I was begging them to search farther.
Stop. Unless he's in the basement?
I think it's
in a basement. Did it in multiple ways. I don't think he's that close to home, unless he's in a basement.
In a basement.
I was begging them to search farther.
Which is still. Was begging them to search farther.
Okay. This area has been
even Heather, the PI, is like, what is going on here?
canvassed. They did they did, if you can name it, they did it, and they did it in multiple ways. I don't think he's that close to home, unless he's in a basement. I was begging them to search farther. Okay. This area has been canvassed. Okay.
It's 50 days in. 50 days in.
Yeah. I'm a mom too, baby. I get it. I do. I have a 15-year-old son as well. You're doing a good job of keeping yourself together, which some people interpret badly.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Every one of them spineless cowards.
Do you think it's because she would be talking like she's talking now? That's what I'm wondering, and I'm thinking. Did we accidentally rewind? No, we didn't. They went back. I forgot. They went back to here the second time. What a mess it is, really. Poor Sebastian. It's interesting how emotional she gets. It doesn't sound like she's afraid to me. You know, like it's not like she's afraid of them finding something where they canvassed, or she's afraid of what's in the 5 miles. It really seems almost like dread, in my opinion. It's interesting. It's huh.
Here we and we're back.
And action. Rolling the meat grinder. But let's stop for a second. Right. So they are worried about something around that house because they're qualifying that the neighborhood's been canvassed, all these other things have been done, and then she says, you know, something about the basement, unless he's in a basement. Okay, and some homes in Tennessee, that area, have basements, obviously because of tornadoes. But they are worried, and this is why they go 0 to 60 about the trespassing signs. There's something in that environment that they do not want found. Something. I have no idea what that is. But
it's funny that you say that, because bringing it full circle, I remember, like you were saying, there's something there, but you know, I have no idea what it is. And I remember when I was watching Mark Tinsley the other day when he was subpoenaing Alex Murdaugh for his records, he said that I just knew that he didn't want me to have them at the time, and I didn't know why. And he said, but I do now. And that's sort of what's happening here. It's like, I'm not really sure why she's saying that or what it is, but there's obviously something here.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how it was, you know, with Chris's behavior and their behavior with me. It was like, oh, you're a psycho and you're this and you're that. And it's like, whoa, why? What did I stumble on here? What is it? What made you so mad? And it is a little unnerving, because I did make a big deal about, you know, asking questions about why aren't you looking into this random person that's searching for your son that's in the woods, that's talking about serial unalivings and all this stuff. It was just, you know, it was just odd. Not saying that person has anything to do with anything. They could be being used like a distraction. But it was just the fact that, like, it's common sense that you're not going to behave so weird, right? If we're all talking about content and this person is a content creator and everybody can, just makes my stomach turn. It really does. It does. Yeah, no, you're right. It is really hard. That's why I go back and forth and I try to listen, but you have nothing to compare it to. So we don't know what is her pattern, right? We have no idea. Like, is she able to disconnect and cut her emotions off because of the trauma she's been through and because of the training that she had when she was in the military? Could it be a little bit of everything? But there's got to be some truth that comes out somewhere, even if it's just tiny specks of truth in some way, shape, or form. And I do find it interesting that the PI, and this is what we'll go over in the morning, Stephen Fisher said on the Laura Lodge, all these places. And one of the things that he said was like small crevices in a home. Like, it was very interesting. I'm going to play that tomorrow, because it's kind of like how they're talking about with the basement and stuff like that. And what could it be, you know, kind of thing.
50 days into the investigation, there's no way they wanted everybody poking around the house even further.
Correct. Come over, Paul.
Together, which some people interpret.
He had been behaving very well, and then all of a sudden,
badly.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Every one of them spineless cowards ain't got the fucking balls to come over, call, ain't got nothing. All they got is a keyboard to
Stop.
put out there.
Oh yeah.
Somebody needs to order him a Happy Meal.
He's so mad.
Take him to McDonald's. Get him a Happy Meal and a toy. Okay. And take him to Burger King and put the king crown on him. Get him a box of corn dogs. Do something positive in his life.
Corn dogs aren't going to help him.
Bullshit stories.
Yep.
Oh,
It's gonna be hateful. It's just,
Did she say
just so
stop?
many people.
I think so.
His wife
Keeping
said
yourself
stop.
together, which some people interpret badly.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Every one of them spineless cowards ain't got the fucking balls to come over, call, ain't got nothing. All they got is a keyboard to put out there.
Oh yeah.
Bullshit stories.
I'm not trying to be hateful. It's just, just so many people.
So do you plan on releasing any of the footage and pictures that you took of the house?
No, that's for me. That's for my file.
It was not an inch of my house inside or out. It hasn't been publicly posted to say you can find it. It's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, the pictures, regardless, you can find the pictures of every angle.
Yeah.
On Silk.
I'm sure.
Well, I will
And
say.
that always struck me as, baloney. Why do you want people to keep looking at stock photos? You could have altered the home. You could have added and subtracted exterior walls. You could have done things on the outside of the home. There's so many things that could have been altered. So many things, not just cameras. It's kind of like the work van, right? That you would need a warrant to be able to get into the work van. Remember on Nancy Grace, she wouldn't even give the name of it. And that was always interesting how they acted about the work van. But just trying to refer to stock photos before you lived in the home. I mean, you can do alterations and add additions and do all kinds of things in a short period of time. So, I don't know, I find that interesting myself.
As much before you make that trip to Memphis, I need to make sure, one, I'll be able to have the time to actually sit down and talk, because we have concrete floors to chicken below, and those hours are longer than normal. So I don't want to sit there and waste your time and your energy or your gas and stuff coming down here if I can't actually be to sit down.
Man, he's quite the empathetic person.
Hey, let me get.
You want to waste your time, gas, or whatever.
Doesn't he drive, or isn't he a crane lift?
I think so.
Something like that?
He was. I don't know what he is now, but he was.
Why the concrete floors breaking at 1 a.m? I know they pour at 1 a.m. sometimes because of the temperatures and stuff, and on commercial projects, but why the crane operator? Why would he be there at 1 a.m. for concrete pouring?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Get your guys' phone numbers and
Sit there and those hours are longer than talk, because we have concrete floors to chicken below. Sit down and talk, because we have concrete floors to chicken below.
What's he
And those
saying?
hours are long.
I don't know.
Talk, because we have concrete
Right here.
floors to chicken below.
They just
And
broke.
those hours
It seems like they took that part. It seems like they took that part out.
are longer than talk, because we have concrete floors to chicken below. And those hours are longer than normal.
Yeah,
So
that doesn't make sense.
I don't want to sit there and waste your time and your energy or your gas and stuff coming down here if I can't actually be to sit down.
hey, let me get your guys' phone numbers and can I just call you when I'm in Jackson tomorrow?
Send me a text.
Okay, what's your name?
Oh, that's okay, Rosebud. It was only online. Although there was one time that somebody had reached out to me, and there was a person that sounded quite similar in the background of the call. But no, I never spoke to him personally. It was just stuff that was said online. It was it's very interesting behaviors.
Why would he be worried about her gas and her time when?
Well, he's making an out to where he doesn't have to meet with her.
Yeah, of course.
He's very non-committal to this.
Number.
Which, by the way, I mean, look, they can do whatever they want, but if somebody was willing to drive that far to see me, to help me find my stepson or my wife's son, I would definitely make the time to meet with them. I mean, I would.
Okay. And Katie, what's your number?
Yeah, I mean, is he driving a concrete pumper? Is that what he does?
Say that again?
Does he drive a concrete pumper? Because those are big trucks with,
yeah, the spin.
Huh?
The spinning truck?
No, the pumper
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
They're stationary, and they put jacks down, and they have a big pump on it with a hose at the end that 4 or 5 guys, control it, and then the truck's back up into a pore section of it, and then it pumps it up in through the hose and into the slab.
No,
and he's up in a crane. He's not going to be involved in any of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why. Let me see. Is there anything?
So I know. If not, I'll be like,
Yeah, okay, I will.
Yeah.
Ironically, they don't bark much. I just gave them a bone. I give them each a bone, and then one of them puts it down and barks at the other for the bone that the other one has.
All right, you both have my phone number now.
Okay, so that's it for that. Yeah, I mean, we went through it pretty meticulously, but any thoughts about where we stand? I mean, look, especially there at the end when Katie was sort of giving her, trafficking, and then she was like, well, it can't really be trafficking or whatever it is that she's talking about. But I found this interesting. I found it odd. Found a lot of things. What say you, Chris?
Don't leave the house. Not yet. And we want to find out about that medication schedule.
Yeah, we can
to find out if he's
back from him, maybe sleeping, working. I don't know where he is, but
whatever he's taking. No, we don't need to know what he's taking. We just need to know, is it daily? Was it daily? And if so, at what times? In the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon? Or are there multiple? Because that's critical. Because you can chase that stuff down easily.
Yeah, right. You're right.
And if he is alive somewhere, hypothetically, then he's got to get his meds. And so there would have to be, an AKA or something to that effect. Somebody would have to have the ability to conceal the fact that he's, Sebastian. And usually that's a problem.
People keep asking, they say, did you guys discuss the recent search warrant? Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about the search warrant. If I haven't been able to.
Where did they serve it?
I don't know. Let me see. Discuss. So apparently that Chris had told somebody that they served a search warrant within the first year at the house.
Okay, but he's been missing what, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Okay.
April 2nd, they said, is when the search warrant was, but I don't think that other than that, I don't think that there's anything. But that would, look, search warrants, if they're lawyered up, a year later coming back in with a search warrant does kind of look a little odd.
Well, or they could have developed more information.
Of course, yeah.
And, what did they take up the floors? Did they pull the carpet? Do they have a basement?
I don't think so.
I'm seeing things in here that says his family's in the construction business.
His family is, yeah. I don't know if they have a basement or not, though.
That's a problem.
It might have a storm shelter that they put in or something.
Yeah. So does anybody know if this house has a basement?
Well, they were in the backyard. They took cameras. They took up some carpet. Okay.
The garage floor.
Girl mom. They took electronics. Wow, good.
There you go.
That's good stuff. Only a crawl space. Okay. No basement. Interesting.
It is.
They build mansions, huh?
Definitely not detective.
Okay. So they're in his family or her family?
His family.
Oh, so they're in the construction business.
Property development type stuff. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, why is he a crane operator then?
Probably because they don't want him to work for them. He'd be an HR nightmare.
Imagine that. You mean the meat grinder?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Chris.
I'm going to let you run.
I appreciate it.
You got a bunch of stuff up there to start. All right. As always, thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll keep on. We'll keep talking about it.
Yes, definitely. Rock on. We'll keep moving. And Rats, it's great seeing everybody and some of our subs. Thank you guys so much for being here. We got another good one coming up on Sunday. So put your seatbelts on.
All right, Sunday, make sure to hit that like button and then click the notification bell for the interview room as well. And we'll put your link in the chat. Thank you so much, Chris.
Okay, have a good night, Josh. Thank you.
Take care. All right.
Well, it's definitely hard to stay on the house because even if you go buy the house, even almost 2 years in, the last time I think it was the vigil in March that I saw the house, and Sebastian's missing yard sign was still crooked. Because when I've been in the area, I drove by, twice, 2-3 times in the 2 years, and I'm over there a lot for different appointments and stuff, and friends and things, and so that was really awful to see that but the yard banner was crooked, and I think that's intentional in my opinion. But I mean, they didn't film the missing persons. They didn't film that there. I mean, it's got to be pretty hard to get eyes on what they've done, right? Because how do you do it? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I'll just go over these things. Let me just see what it says. One moment. Let's see. Why isn't it coming up? There was one more little thing. Thank you, Josh, for hosting the show with Chris McDonough. It's very appreciative for us to go over it and hear, somebody that's a professional's opinion on everything. I really enjoy listening to the perspective of the people that have actually been investigators. Yeah, so this isn't going to play. All right, well, we'll have to do the part 2 of it in the morning, and then I can go over some more of the things that we have where Chris gets very explosive, and just listening to what makes him get so irate, what seemed to be such a trigger. It's very interesting. Yes, Rosebud, yep. Makes sense. It's time for me to go back to sleep for a few hours. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. There's definitely something in the house that went on where they wouldn't act the way that they're acting. And they've done it from the beginning, right? They've always acted really bizarre about the house. Wasn't it, I'd have to find the article, but wasn't there something where he yelled at one of the journalists to make sure they wouldn't film the house? They didn't want any information on their home released. They wanted everybody to go buy the Zillow stock photos as if that means anything. Oh yeah, there's no reason for regular people. They've already done enough. Heck, from what I heard, one of them might be staying there, and they'd stayed overnight there. I mean, these random people, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I don't believe Chris and Katie have been living there in a long time. I don't think they reside there like that. But it is highly odd. But, you meet a lot of people, like it seems like Chris and Katie have. They've met people in person quite a few times, whether they're saying they're giving them flyers or whatever. They're searching with them, even though the one guy had a ghost app while they're in the woods searching. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. In my opinion. I mean, I can't believe what horrible taste to go out for the first time to make content and have a paranormal application that is being used to communicate while looking for your missing stepson. It just looks absolutely, it's really shocking. So, sorry, I'm just making notes so that I can finish this in the morning. I have the audio that I'm going to go over that I don't think many have listened to that much, where he kind of goes off on the other creators and, talks about choking on chicken bones and all of that kind of stuff. And then there's one other audio I wanted to listen to, because the audio I like to see, what is said, what isn't said. I know that a lot of things are intentional, but I think it's important. I mean, what else can you do? There's nothing else we can do but go over things, listen to things, and keep talking until Sebastian's found or there's justice. That's it. That's all we can do. And trying to do it, with some ethics and respect for Sebastian, which we already know that so many people clearly don't care to do, especially his stepdad. It's just heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. So in the morning or sometime today, we're going to do the parents as suspects, all the different scenarios, the thud that haunts us, the leaked audio, as I call it, of the chicken bone and all this other stuff, the chroma rage and the chroma boss, and the unaliving theory that no one wants to hear, which is the suicide part of it. Is that a possibility, which we discussed a little bit earlier tonight, so I don't know if I'll go over it again, but that is something, that is one of the theories, is, he was treated so badly and bullied and micromanaged so much. Could there have been any chance that he took his life because he had heard that they might send him somewhere, or, he knew with the custody coming up and everything that was going on, and, he took his life, and then everybody covered it up because of the custody, because of, caring about what that would do and how it would look on the family or whatever. Now, it's obviously not high on the list of things, but it is a theory, right? It is one theory. So I thank you guys for coming by. You can follow me on X, follow the TikTok, like, dislike, subscribe, share if you can. We're doing a lot of stuff. Hopefully, I'm really trying to put everything together and trying to come on a lot earlier. But we'll see how that goes. It depends. It's all dependent on the kiddos. If I get the channel up where I'm actually making income off of it at any point in time, then it's, it's different. Then I won't have to do it in between all the kiddo stuff. I can do it when I have a nanny a little bit more often. And oh, and yes, Barbara, it's Florist with Faith. That's the Cash App, is Florist with Faith. It's the same with Venmo, Florist with Faith. So thank you. That's really sweet of you. So thank you to every single one of you who stayed up and hung out with me as we're all kind of fading together and tired. You know, keep sharing the flyers, you know, keep trying to share them around so that credible tips can, you know, make their way to where they need to be. You know, we're all team Sebastian. We're all team whoever's the victim when it comes to these cases when I discuss them. There's no, you know, there's nothing more important than being team Sebastian. He's the victim. He's the one that's missing. He's the one that's having his reputation the entire time, but through the mud. It's horrible. So if Sebastian ever, you know, stumbled on this, I hope he knows that he's very loved. You know, people are looking for him, and, you know, he's in no way, shape, or form a monster or anything like that. I know the probability is low. It doesn't look like he is with us statistically or by any of the things that we have seen. But I think it's important to kind of say that when I start or end the streams, because you just never know, right? So I hope all of you hug your babies, hug your fur babies, you know, and everybody that means something to you, because these cases are just a reminder of how lucky and fortunate we are to have them in our lives, because people do disappear. And even though we know they don't really truly disappear, there's always an answer. They're always somewhere. Just having to go through this unknowing while a case is, you know, looked into is just an agonizing thought to have. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. So it'll be tomorrow at some point. We'll finish this up. And for now, it's momming it up, and we're out.
Force of nature, strong and kind, voice for those who can't speak their mind, sees the world through a lens so clear, finds the truth without any fear. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's growing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true. In her mind, visions of the new, sees potential in every soul, loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's growing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true. In her mind, visions of the new, sees potential in every soul, loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's growing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, advocate for every child, lending ears and running wild, shines a light in the darkest place, fighting battles with plastic gates with sharpest eyes, exposes truth, no compromise, holds opinions strong and willful, but gives advice that's ever skillful. Force of nature, strong and kind, voice for those who can't speak their mind, sees the world through a lens so clear, finds the truth without any fear. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true.
I will say this, Rosebud, real quick. Oh, how do I turn the music down?
Sees potential in every
Oh no.
loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand.
There we go. I will say that in that theory is something that I had thought in the beginning of this, when I saw how she was rocking back and forth in the chair and how Chris appeared. Even though there was that one point where there was that odd smile. But the reason I was thinking is that if you have a lot of skeletons to hide and you have court case coming up for the custody and you don't want everything coming out from maybe an investigation that would have transpired because of that. And I know that sounds weird, but tomorrow I can try to look up why I thought that, like there was different reasons. I have things noted in my phone and on some note paper throughout this case. And so I'll try to go look into what I was thinking about why you would maybe cover that up.
Strong and willful, but gives advice that's ever skillful.
Unless it's a whole bunch of reasons, including, money and who knows, could be a bunch of reasons. But I'll think about that. And if you have any ideas or any speculations, please let me know. And I will definitely look into seeing if in the past cases where somebody, has taken their life and people have covered that up, I'll look into what cases we've had and why that was.
With a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true, in her mind visions of the new.
Could be to hide abuse as well.
Every soul loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them to understanding, counseling hearts so wise and true, in her mind visions of the new, sees potential in every soul, loves her compass, loves her goal. Oh, she's warming it up day and night, with a heart that's glowing bright, helping those who need a hand, guiding them investigates with sharpest eyes, exposes truth, no compromise, holds opinions strong and willful, but gives advice that's ever skillful.